You're actually probably getting yourself ready for a show tonight, aren't you?
Well, you know what? As a matter of fact, we just played about 2 hours ago. It's an afternoon show for us on this Mayhem Festival. So we played at actually 4:45 local time here in St. Louis, Missouri, and I believe it is almost 20 to 8 years. So actually, yeah, the show is over for us, and I think we got Corn on stage as we speak right now.
When you do festivals, is there any band that you want to line up to go and see?
I mean, it's just really cool to be a part of a festival like this, you know. But any festival, if we're going to be playing with some big bands and some, bands that are have been our heroes or the bands we grew up with, and there's so many of those, countless, bands to name. But it's always cool to see those bands. Like on this tour, we got Body Count with Ice-T, performing, and we got Korn and. So we got some pretty cool bands, and it's just like I said, really neat to be a part of this festival.
Yeah. Well, you have, of course, caused a lot of controversy over your career. You're about to head to Australia, where I've read at one stage you were actually banned from even selling your records in Australia. How many times have you actually been here?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know we've had some issues in the past, and luckily that's all behind us now, I believe. And but it's never affected us coming to Australia or anything of that nature. I believe I can't even think what this would be. Maybe our fifth or sixth time coming over to Australia now. I'm not even quite sure. We've been over there so many times within the last 10, 15 years now. It's hard to keep track actually, but. Luckily we'll be able to come back, like you were saying, in September, and I know the shows are going to be great. We always have a great time. The Australian fans really love death metal, love us, and we love coming there to play for them. We're just looking forward to another great time in Australia.
And the new album will be released by the time you get here. When's it actually being released?
I believe it's being released on September 16th or 19th. It's 16th or the 19th. So I think we're going to be there in Australia when it does come out, or we'll just be ending our tour maybe there. I know we're going to Japan right after Australia, so I'm not sure if the album will actually be out when we are there. But it'll be really soon. We will be playing songs off the new record, of course, when we're there. But either way, it'll be very soon, coinciding with us being in Australia with the release of the new record.
Awesome. And with, you've got a lot of shows in America before you come here, and then, of course, you're going to Europe. But with the shows before the actual release date, will the album be available to buy at the shows or not?
Well, yes. Like, for instance, on this tour, it's obviously the album is not out, and we're pretty much promoting the new record. So we are actually selling some pre-sale, little cards, basically laminates that the fans can buy and get a code to get download, like a week early and that. So we are selling a lot of pre-sales for that on this tour. Like I said, we probably will maybe be doing the same in Australia. I'm not sure because of, like I said, if the album not being out when we start the tour. But I'm not quite sure how it is going to work there. But yeah, but that's basically what we're doing. We're doing this tour in the United States to promote the band, but of course to push, the new album to, let the fans know that it's coming soon. So.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you haven't gone more than 3 years without releasing a new album. So what's kept you so constant? It's a very good track record you've got.
Well, it is. I mean, really, to think about it, I know we've been around 25 years, and this is going to be our 13th release. I mean, that's, averaging just, every 2 years or so you're putting out a record, So, I mean, this is what we've been doing. We've never, of course, taken a break. We've always been active, and this is what we do. This is our living. This is our what we do for our career, kind of a thing. So we just feel that it's good to be active. It's good to stay busy, and that's been our work ethic and our mentality since the beginning. We work on songs. You write them, you record them, you go on tour, and you just kind of keep the pattern going basically. And, so we're fortunate to be, of course, healthy enough and, be a stable band where everybody's really, this is the best lineup I think we've had since forever, and the most stable lineup we've had. So everything's just running fairly smooth. And if we're all feeling good, like I said, healthy, and, we're all mentally still wanting to do what we're doing, then, I mean, you only live once and life's too short to, let it all slide by kind of thing. So I think we're just going to, keep going and do, what we've been doing, for, 25 years now. But it is kind of, yeah, I mean, we've worked hard. We've done a lot in this time, that's for sure. So, but that's the way we like to have it. So.
Yeah, well, before Cannibal Corpse, you were, of course, in another band, which was was it a death metal band or heavy metal?
Yeah. I was in a band called Transcend, and it was, like a thrash band. I mean, it was the stepping stone to be in the Cannibal Corpse. Of course, the first band you start just writing, original material and just kind of learning your instruments for the most part and all that. So, but it was in the vein of Cannibal. It was leading to that point. I mean, we're all fans of heavy metal, of course, because we grew up in the early '80s, mid '80s, and that's when we were teenagers, and the music, of course, the bands were Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and all that, and we grew with the whole scene and the whole movement of thrash and death metal and all that. So yeah, we are, of course, all fans of heavy metal, but the reason why we're in Cannibal Corpse and play death metal is obviously we like the the faster, the more darker side, the more aggressive side of the metal, so and that's why Cannibal Corpse, that's why we're here, that's why we're doing that, as opposed to probably playing some other form of metal.
Yeah, and you've never received any mainstream airplay in that, and like I said, you have had a lot of controversy and things banned and been brought up in Senate discussions and all that sort of stuff. But I think that probably has actually helped your career, if anything, because people like to live outside the bounds a bit, and that's exactly what Cannibal Corpse have done.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're exactly correct. I mean, it's helped us. Any of the controversy in any way really has helped, because we're that kind of a band. Of course, we knew there was going to be controversy. Not that we wanted controversy, but yes, with the subject matter and what we wrote about, it was just, it's not going to be for everybody, and we may get some people mad, and so be it. But exactly, all that has just helped us in the long run. People want to seek it out. Then, of course, it's taboo, it's bad. So, well, when your mom and dad are telling you not to buy it, what are you doing? You're going to end up buying it. So, I think that's, it's totally helped us over our career.
Is that what got you into the heavy metal scene in the first place, Rebellion?
Nope, not at all. It was the aggression of the music. That's why metal is such a mysterious kind of outlet, I think, because yes, you talk to a lot of fans and they'll tell you, oh man, exactly. I listen to it because I get my aggressions out and, and all this kind of thing. And you know what? I'm not an angry person. I never grew up that way. I was, grew up in just like a middle class, regular old normal family, and, I just, that sound got me, I remember back when I started listening to music, and it was kind of, the things that really got you. What got me, it was, a guitar sound, a heavy kind of a guitar sound, albeit from back, we're talking the mid '70s and all that kind of stuff. So when I got a little older, it was really just, it was the music, hearing these chords, hearing these rhythms, that just got me into it, and it maybe made me a little aggressive, it's just like, wow, you want to hear this stuff, and it makes you excited. But by no means was I listening to that kind of music for an escape or for rebellion because my parents were, hated them or, what have you. It was none of that. And I really think if you talk to all of us in the band, it was really those reasons why we got into metal, just because of the really, truly the love of that sound.
Yeah, that begs the question, have your parents ever been to one of your shows?
Yes, many times. My dad will be coming out in a couple of weeks. He'll come to a couple shows. He comes to at least, as many as he can when we're in that area where he still lives in Buffalo, New York. And Alex's mom will come. Actually, we are going to be playing in Buffalo on this tour, and all the families will be there. I'll have many family and friends coming, and yeah, I've had my parents to many a shows. In the beginning, it was definitely different for them. You know, when their son is playing some crazy band, and then they don't understand because they weren't into that or really even music people growing up, and then here I am. Playing, making it music, but playing some very crazy music that, like I said, they don't really necessarily understand or like or anything. But you know what? I'm their son, and they supported me, and then that's what's happened with all of our families, because they know who we are and how we are as people, and they know we've worked hard to get where we're at. We're good people, and they're our parents, so they support their children. And I know I'm grateful for that, and I'm sure everybody else is as well.
Yeah. Well, you do have the new album coming out, A Skeletal Domain. What sort of lyric content do you have in your songs? Do they actually suit the titles?
Oh, of course. I mean, when we're writing Cannibal Corpse lyrics, of course, they're pretty much just mini horror stories. The way we like to, what I like to call it is, we are putting just short stories to music, basically. So we try to write, little musical short stories. So, and of course, it's Cannibal Corpse. So they're, the darker side of life, and and a lot of some fantasy in there with zombies and what have you, in some kind of crazy worlds maybe, but a lot of it is kind of maybe true to life things that could happen. But like I said, it's all just really fictional horror for the most part. We really don't try to tie in anything that's happened, and and if things do coincide, well, then that's it. It's coincidence, because things, I'm sure could happen and have happened in a lot of our songs that what we've written about and all that. But it's really just trying to write a good horror story, like I said. So and that's what we do, and that's what we've always been doing.
Do you actually watch a lot of horror movies?
Not as much as I used to, kind of a thing. I think all of us, we all love horror movies, and that's kind of pretty much how Cannibal Corpse was formed, and the name and all that. It's just we had that love of, fictional horror and movies and books and stuff like that back when we were growing up. So, but yeah, these days, I mean, myself personally, I don't seem to watch as much as I used to, kind of thing. But I think some of the guys in the band still, stay up on a lot of the modern horror. But I think also we're just, we are old school in a lot of ways, where we really cherish our old, late 70s, early 80s kind of horror movies, so. But yeah, I mean, there's some great ones, there's some crazy ones still out there, but there's too many these days. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, and I should tell people at this point that they can actually find you at cannibalcorpse.net, and on Facebook you are Cannibal Corpse.
Yes.
And you will be in Australia, in Perth on the 9th of September, Adelaide on September the 10th, in Sydney at the Metro on the 11th of September, and then in Melbourne on the 12th of September, and Brisbane on the 13th of September. You're crisscrossing a bit there. And we've got 5 dates in a row.
Right. There you go. There's our Australian tour.
Yeah. Have you got something you would like to say to your Australian fans?
Well, just thanks for the Australian fans, and for over the years for the support. If it wasn't, for them, we wouldn't be coming back, of course. And, it's great to have the support, and we shall see everybody soon within a couple of months.
Yeah. And as we said, you'll be here early September, and that's through Soundworks Touring, and the tickets are available at a few different places. So you can either go to cannibalcorpse.net or go to Soundworks and find out more about that tour. You have the album A Skeletal Domain coming out to coincide with the tour at some time around then, and the single Sadistic Embodiment is available right now.
Yep.
Thank you very, very much for your time. It has been great talking to you, and I look forward to the new album when it comes out, Skeletal Domain, and the tour in September, of course.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the interview, and yes, we will be there shortly.
Awesome, and thank you, and have a good evening.
Okay, thank you very much. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.